Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. People who are subscribed to this channel, thank you very much. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to do a video today on TNR, and I'm going to explain what TNR is, why it's so important. We'll talk a little bit about feral cats, the population density of feral cats in the United States, and how that relates to why TNR is so important. I know I've mentioned it in other videos, but I'm going to just do this video on TNR because I think it's really important. It's an important subject that I think people in America, we should talk to our kids about it when they get pets. You know, we should let them know why having our pets spayed and neutered is important. And also to make them aware of what goes on with feral cats out in the streets, the kind of lives they live. I've seen people post videos where they say, oh, the feral cats in my area, they seem healthy and happy. And, you know, that could very well be true. I mean, they could be living their little cat lives out and, you know, doing their thing. But it's not a good existence for them. It's a very, it's a harsh existence. And, you know, I see one perspective of it from my experience, because I go out and I film a particular colony here, and I see online people, you know, posting stuff about the feral colonies that they feed and take care of. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on that that people don't ever see. So I think it's important that people understand what feral cats go through and how they live and how hard and tough their life is. We're talking about animals that have no access to medical attention for the most part. I mean, a lot of colony caregivers will get cats, you know, medical if they're able to, if they have the funding for it. But most times they don't. So we're talking about cats running around with dental problems, with, you know, rotted teeth, infections, they can barely eat, you know, different stuff, kidney failure going on, different ailments and diseases that are brutal. So TNR is very important to help combat a lot of that, and to keep the feral cat population numbers down, because they've exploded in this country. I'm currently looking at Google right now. I got it pulled up on my laptop, and it's estimating between 50 and 70 million feral cats in the United States. And it's saying that there are figures and there are estimates that the figure is actually above 100 million. And there's a lot of different aspects of that we could talk about, why that's not good. These feral cats, they're not native to North America. The feral cats didn't originate here. They were brought from Europe and other parts of the world here. So the native wildlife that lives here really isn't used to being preyed on by cats. We do have bobcats and lynxes and stuff up in the mountains and stuff like that, but they're not a natural part of the ecosystem. And they do wreak havoc on our native bird populations, our amphibian populations, our small reptile populations, small mammal populations. And if you think about it for a minute, you know, but they're estimating between 50 and 70 million. We'll say it's 50 million. Well, you know, we'll be conservative with it. If there are 50 million feral cats out there, and let's just say 30 million of those kill a bird each year, one bird per year, and we'll say 30 million of the 50, that's 30 million birds. 30 million birds. Now, I think it's safe to say and to assume that the number of feral cats is higher than 50 million. Can you imagine 70 to 100 million feral cats killing 2 birds a year? You start doing the math and it adds up. And when we start talking about areas of the country where there are endangered species of birds or small mammals or reptiles or amphibians, and it really takes a toll on them. So that's one aspect of why reducing the number of feral cats through TNR is important. One of the bigger reasons for me is it reduces the amount of suffering. When these animals get out on the street, they go through hell. They really do. If they were born out there, it's not as bad as a cat that was abandoned When people take their cats and they're moving and they say, oh, we just can't take them with them, we'll turn them loose, he'll find something to eat. These cats have a real hard time. And, they're not used to going out there and fighting other cats for territory. And they're not used to going out there and fighting for their food and evading predators like coyotes and people. People are the number one predators of cats and automobiles driven by people. They're not used to that. So I think that TNR is probably one of the most important things that we can do to reduce the population of feral cats and community cats. There's a difference between feral and community. Feral is kind of a psychological, behavioral state that a cat is in. If a cat is feral, it means it's not socialized to people. It's not used to people. It doesn't want anything to do with people. It's probably afraid of people. When we see these pictures of these mean cats that are hissing and scratching and trying to bite, and someone says it's feral, well, it's terrified. That's why it's behaving that way. Normally, a feral cat will run from you. They just bolt. They bolt. They get away from you. I have yet to see somebody that was just walking down the street and was attacked by a feral cat. Cat came out of nowhere and just attacked them. They don't do that. They run. Or they stay very still and hope you don't see them. TNR is the most important thing we can do to reduce their population numbers. If we are, fixing these animals, if spaying and neutering them, if they're not able to breed and produce more kittens out there, eventually their population, the colony will dwindle down. As the cats get older, or they get disease, unfortunately, and they die off, the numbers decrease. So it's the most humane thing that we can do. And the TNR process is very simple. If nobody, knows what the process of TNR is, it's where people go out and take humane traps and they trap these either community cats or feral cats in colonies or out there on the street. And then they take them in and get them the veterinary surgical procedure where they are either neutered or they are spayed. And then the cat is allowed time to recover and it's put back where it was taken from. They don't just let them go anywhere. They take them back, if they're able to the place that the cat was collected, and they return them. So now you have a cat that's out in the community that before was able to breed and reproduce that now can't. And we know accidents happen. The other day I opened a door, was going out, and one of our cats, Obi-wan, bolted out. And thank God he didn't, have any plans to stay out there. He kind of just went in circles by my feet, and we were able to get him back inside. But it was a little unnerving. But, sometimes accidents like that happen, and if your cat isn't spayed or neutered and it gets outside and another cat gets a hold of it, then you got kittens. And even though we love kittens, we love all cats, we don't need more kittens. So many kittens in this country are euthanized at shelters every year in this country because there's no homes for them. There's not enough homes to go around. We have senior cats that are getting euthanized left and right. It's terrible. So the most responsible and the best thing that you can do is to spay or neuter your cat. And in the long run, not only will it benefit the community if there's ever an accident and the cat gets out, but it'll also benefit your pet. Your pet will live longer. Your pet, if you get them young enough, usually they don't spray. So if you have a problem with a spraying animal, it could have been because they were fixed a little too late. That tends to curb that kind of behavior. And as far as they'll probably live longer. They're less stressed. They don't have all that hormonal activity that, cats are crazy anyway, but you add hormones to it and, they're pretty psychotic. So, TNR is very important. The feral cat population out there it's terrible. And I'll talk to you a little bit right now about feral cats. There may be some places that have, colonies of feral cats where they're well fed, well taken care of. They got vets that come out and visit them, or people that take them in to get vet checked and stuff like that. Most people can't afford that. Most people that are caring for feral cat colonies cannot afford that because veterinary bills are expensive. And I'm talking about even the small stuff is really expensive. So the lives that they live out there, for the most part, They're rough lives. I mean, these cats. I saw, a week ago, I posted a couple videos. A couple of the cats that I filmed, or I filmed off and on around the colony, were hit by cars last week. And I usually don't post graphic stuff, but I did post the videos of the cats. I wanted people to see it. I did remove the video, but I wanted people to see it initially. I wanted them to see what happens, when we allow our cats to roam outside unsupervised, when we don't pay attention to what we're doing when we drive our cars. I sit here every day and I see people going 40, 45, sometimes 50 miles an hour down our residential street. And there are kids in this neighborhood. So this is going on all the time, and you've got feral cats out there that live with this now. Not only do they live with that, but there are people out there that hurt cats. Unfortunately, there are people out there that do really horrible stuff to cats. For some reason, cats catch the rough end of humanity. I mean, there are people out there that just hate cats. So cats are constantly being shot. Cats are being shot with pellet guns, real guns. They're being poisoned. They're being beaten with bats, sticks. They have rocks and bricks thrown at them. They're being kicked. They're being, tricked into coming up for pets, and then they're being, abused. And it's horrible, the stuff that people do to cats. So, the life of a feral cat, even community cats that are out there, it's pretty dangerous. And that's just talking about the bad things that could happen to them. Not even talking about the disease, the illnesses that are out there, the sickness. And when we're talking about, like, a lot of these feral cats, they don't have access to veterinary medicine, to vets. So, they have impacted teeth, they have different, physical diseases and ailments, and they suffer horribly. And these cats die out there. They do. I've seen it. I've watched it. I've seen cats that were just in terrible condition, and they end up dying. Even if someone comes to help in time, they didn't get to them in time, and they end up being euthanized because they're just too far gone. So I wanted people to think about that a little bit. I didn't used to be a cat guy. I was a reptile guy my whole life, 40 some plus years. I'm 52 now, but 40 something years. I kept reptiles. I used to breed pythons, boas, monitor lizards. I was a huge venomous snake fanatic. I had my entire house for, since I was a child. I always had venomous snakes and monitor lizards and pythons and boas and colubrids and all that different stuff. And when I moved in with my wife, we got a cat, and all of a sudden it changed me. It just changed me. I don't do reptiles at all anymore. I don't, I think about it sometimes. I love reptiles. I think they're amazing animals, but this is what I do now. And it totally changed my whole life. In fact, this is the cat right here, Darby, that changed me. Just absolutely changed my life. So, I wasn't a cat person before, but I definitely am now. I love cats. I'm obsessed with cats. So I wanted to talk about TNR today because I think it's really important, and sometimes I don't think people understand how important it is. I think they just kind of hear about it and they're like, yeah, I don't want to cut my cat's balls off. I'm a guy. Ugh, I don't want to do that to my poor boy. Not realizing that there are consequences to not doing that, and the consequences are always negative. None of them are positive. So I wanted to share that with you guys today, and I wanted to talk about TNR and just kind of hammer home how important it is, and also talk a little bit about the ferals and what they have to go through because it's pretty brutal. I did mention that I posted those videos and I took them down. I don't want those videos on my channel. It was more of an emotional reaction, me posting the videos of the two cats that had been hit by cars. I was pretty upset that day. It ruined my whole day. I had to call animal control to come down and pick them up, and it was terrible. And I actually spoke to a lady on another street that was actually the person who would feed and provide water to one of those cats, and she knew exactly which cat it was, and she hadn't seen it in days, and she was heartbroken. So But as far as TNR, it's the most important thing you could do, and I would just plead with people, please get your cats neutered and spayed. It's the best thing you can do. This week, hopefully this week, I will be getting together with Joe Hamrock from Vegas Cat Rescue, and we will be going out to the local colony here to try and trap some of the cats, both males and females, that are not fixed, that are not spayed and neutered. And I will be videoing that, and I will do some videos on the channel with that. There's some kittens out there. I saw some kittens this morning, so hopefully we can get some of them. Maybe if the kittens are young enough, they can be socialized and put up for adoption, and placed in foster care until they can be adopted. That would be great. But that'll come later next week, I believe, so that's hopefully in the works soon. So until next time, please spay and neuter your cats. Do something kind for cats. They really deserve it. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all the likes on the videos. Thank you for all the wonderful comments. We've reached, what did we reach? Oh, YouTube's not open. I think it's around 617 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. So much. Means the world to me. It really, this channel's really like gotten me out of the house, got me filming, got me doing stuff. So it's pretty cool. And I appreciate it. Till next time, take care of yourself, do something nice for cats, and I'll see you in the next video.